Welcome back to Final Fantasy XIV, where we want to start, well, a custom delivery, I think. We begin here in Charlian at the harbor with Theopolden. Praise see that it's done. Thank you for your unwavering service. Oh, Falek, be good, I didn't see you there. I trust you've been well. And the twins? So far so good. Perhaps I should reintroduce myself. Our first meeting was passing brief, after all. My name is Theopolden, and I oversee the researches in Labyrinthos. During the final days, you and the Labyrinthos children assisted me in exchange for stories about their mother and father. Although I'm sure the issue of the Aetherburner weighed heavier on your mind than personal anecdotes at the time. You scions truly managed to do the impossible. Our star owes you its salvation. Moreover, your spectacular voyage through the great expanse has driven our researchers to pursue greater heights of development and innovation. Are you building more toy boats, starfaring vessels? Well, I can't deny something of the sort. The scope of our current work extends far beyond interstellar travel. Would you care to join me below? You can see for yourself that our researchers have been busying themselves in these days. Our gleaners have just delivered some missives that I must distribute. They would be greatly honored by your company. Alright. Marvelous. I have no doubt your presence will brighten many a day. In that case, where might we begin? Ah, yes, why don't we pay Margrat a visit? Quite gregarious, that one. Always eager to share her opinions. Her laboratory is on the eastern side of Charlian Hamlet, so let's be off. Here's the place. Let us see if she's in. Can I help you with something? Yes, in fact. My apologies for intruding upon your break, but is Margrat available for chat? No. Oh, no, she left for Thesaurus, I think. She mentioned something about a request or getting something off her chest. I couldn't say for sure. Thesaurus is a collective that oversees the allocation of research material. So naturally they have a branch here in Charlian Hamlet. From guilds to guildship commissions, Thesaurus is a one-stop provider of countless invaluable services. They are committed to ensuring our researchers have what they need to perform their work effectively and efficiently. I'm sure Margrat will be kind enough to expound upon their offerings in exhausting detail when we find her. It's a building just across the plaza. Well, this doesn't bode well. Godspeed, Margrat. Here we are. I assume we'll find Margrat with our receptionist. That I should have to explain is an affront to common sense, but our development of Labyrinthos infrastructure has been painstakingly rational, as befits this intellectual community. We have never shirked our duty to share the returns of our research, be they informal or monetary, and Aporia's ledgers can surely attest to the equitable distribution of such dividends. Since this rational system is designed to create a self-sustaining cycle of funding for our research, it's only logical to conclude that nothing is rotten in the state of Charlian Hamlet. But do you know what is rotten, Hodge? What is hastening our decay, body and soul? The goddamn chairs, Hodge! The blank soulless walls, the complete inability to requisition anything deemed irrelevant to our research despite the abundant benefits we may provide. The sustainment of the sanity and well-being of our researchers. Tell me, is the mighty Labyrinthos bereft of wealth or compassion? I'd like to know, Hodge. When I said she was eager to share her opinions, I confess this was not what I had in mind. Margrat, would you kindly stop berating Hodge for doing his job? Berating? No, I'm merely submitting a request for answers regarding the systematic failures whilst offering my assessment of the situation. But now that you're here, sir, perhaps you can use your authority to remedy this latest injustice. Would that I could, Margrat. Sadly, our resources have their limits, but I assure you that our associates at Labyrinthos will continue to make every effort to ensure each request receives due consideration. Furthermore, in light of the correspondence I just received from your collaborators, you have more pressing matters to attend to. They say, and I quote, "We appreciate your concern regarding the current schedule. Nevertheless, we wish to proceed according to initial schedule projections. Respectfully yours, etc." Why? Why does this always happen? What about impossible is so difficult to comprehend? Do they think we're exaggerating, or is we air too thin at the mountaintops of privilege from which our superiors deign to issue commandments? Why is it that when we dare to hope that perhaps this time it will be different, it always ends in the same catastrophe of unlearned lessons? Do it again, but faster. Sacrifice health, hygiene, and personal happiness as you feed the furnace. Its hunger for your labor insatiable. O minion, render up your everything on the altar of glorious progress. I can't stand it no more. Take my life, my liberty, just leave my fluffy bed. I've just remembered its gentle carols. But no, after ripping us from the bottom of what meager comforts our servitude affords, they now expect us to bruise our buttocks upon chairs harder than the heads of a whole form combined. Upon the slacks that greedy guild pinchers refuse to replace on the grounds they are not essential for our work, despite the cries of our lower backs for succor, mournful and ceaseless and distracting, stifling genius and innovation. Can I help some more? Wait a moment, I've seen you somewhere before? Everthanks, that's right, Everthanks, I remember. Truly, you wish to help? Because even if I'm more indebted to you than you to me, I'm prepared to impose upon your goodwill, if it will yield us even an ounce of respect. And tell me, are you an artisan, an aspiring gleaner, someone willing to do what it takes? Something of that sort? Oh, I knew it. You exude a kindness that other people in our immediate vicinity decidedly lack. I get straight to the point. Our bums are sore and our backs are curled like finger shrimps. Anything to help alleviate our pains would be greatly appreciated. Cushions, massage instruments, herbal supplements, anything. Oh, and should you fear that a surplus of generosity might go to waste? Know that there are no shortage of Eki researchers in my laboratory, so all donations will be put to good use. As assured, you will be compensated with more than our glowing gratitude too. You adventure on Tyke's levels colorful scripts, don't you? Well, I have available tons of them left over from an old project. So they are yours should they bring you joy. While your gesture humbles us, I would hate to think Margrat is pressuring you for overzealousness. Are you sure this arrangement would not be imposing? Oh, it's fine. Well, it's your prerogative, and I'm sure your effort will be appreciated by all. Hodge, coordinate with the distribution of Margrat's scripts, so we may establish a provisional exchange in these offices for our new partner's convenience. Understood. Yankee at the far desk will see that you are furnished with whatever supplies you require. Do not hesitate to make use of her services. I have other missives in need of delivery, so I shall leave you to it. But please, take care not to overexert yourself. Be advised that I will hold you responsible if she does. Thumbs up. Right, to avoid failure Paul's wrath, why don't we start with 3 items or so? Your best material for back acts in exchange for my colorful scripts. I look forward to seeing what you deliver. Custom deliveries unlocked on Margrat. What do we need? Out of time constraints, I just craft 3 items. To hear Theosaurus' excuses, one might think it necessary to sell your firstborn to afford a comfortable chair and desk. Truly, it isn't impossible to properly furnish a laboratory on a budget? Yeah, classical explanations. Sometimes a good cushion is all you need to transform any old chair into posterior paradise. I've even heard of designs that incorporate gelatinous material sourced from... Oh, well, so long as it's comfortable, right? Do you normally fling items of extraordinary quality to whomsoever is in need? Because such behavior may condition people to trail behind you like awesome ducklings, myself included. These should make all the difference. Wait here, I'll go and deliver them to my colleagues. Results are in. Those items you procured for us are the best thing since sliced Archon loaf. No longer shall our backs suffer the cricks and cramps of outrageous furniture. With renewed health and mental clarity, may we set upon our work and meet our deadlines without need for extensions? Probably. Theatrics aside, we are very grateful to you, kind lady. I'm afraid my complaint superseded a more civilized greeting, so allow me to properly introduce myself. My name is Margrat, and I work as a specialist in propulsion engineering here in Charlian Hamlet. Under the supervision of Kokol Denkol, my team participated in the development of not just the Aetherburner, but the myriad ancillary propulsion systems of the Ragnarok. As our assignment concerned the crux of the project, we worked in tandem with a variety of other laboratories. My team was charged with performing analysis of physical and ethereal phenomena to which the internal components should be subjected. Another team calculated the necessary energy costs of all propulsion systems and proposed refinement to improve ethereal conductivity. And yet another team drafted the plans that reconciled all our disparate findings into one cohesive image. Thus we spun our web of productivity. Of course, a specialist only as special as the demand of their expertise. So, once the final days were thwarted and the threat to our lives no more, the threat to our livelihoods reared its ugly head. Thankfully, our experience with Ragnarok was of value to Garland Ironworks, who offered my team the opportunity to collaborate on new airship engines, and so we lived to labor another day. True to their Gallian roots, they rely heavily on ceruleum to power their engines, but with a few adjustments, War Aether also can... Ah, but you know all about Aether's potential, don't you? Tell me, why did you need those tanks? It's not often, or ever really, that people come clamoring for tanks with a capacity to power an interstellar vessel. Fancied a jaunt to the moon, did you? No, to the void. You ripped a hole in the moon to forestall a void sand invasion. Poor the other one. It got belts on. Next you'll be claiming you're a scion. Next up, Ultima Fool. I actually am? Why are you giving me that look? Wait, what did you say your name was? Desiree Klingor. Desiree Klingor, right. Where Desiree Klingor went to Ultima Fool with the other scions. Qualga smite you, Theopolden. Would it have killed you to say something? All of us were so consumed by work back then that we never got so much as a glimpse of a scion, let alone... And no, here I'm whinging you about back pains, what a laugh. Apologies, I had no idea you were the Desiree Klingor. It's quite a lot to process. Thank you for taking the time to help us. And if you're so inclined, we would be terribly grateful for your continued assistance. Thesaurus is unlikely to loosen its purse strings anytime soon, and we're still in dire need of things to improve our quality of life here in Labyrinthos. What say you? I'll make you an honorable member of our team, or better yet, my own personal gleaner. Compensation, benefits, sort you pay me, as they say. Spoken like a born freelancer. But to answer your question, I could paper the city with the amount of script I've laying around. You have my word that we shan't leave you wanting. There's still much work to be done if the research of the Thessalians Hamlet are to have their myriad needs met. To that end, Margrat has a new favor to ask of you. Pardon me? About that request I submitted earlier. Have I reached a consensus? All materials necessary for your current research have been allocated. Additional supplies will not be forthcoming. Oh, I see. Thus spoke the wise bureaucrats unto their obeisant workers. Tell us, what unreasonable desire did you dare voice to our overlords? Oh, hello, Margrat. I don't think it was that unreasonable, all things considered. What are we supposed to do now? As good a chance as any. I do believe we have your next commission. The despondent man you see before you is the Roaring Spring, a fellow researcher formerly assigned to the Ragnarok project. I'll be on a different team. I would be much obliged if you could procure whatever it was Thesaurus refused him. He's a gentle soul deserving of far better treatment than he receives. And I think you find this area of expertise fascinating. If you can guess what it is, that is, well... Rejoice, Roaring Spring, it just so happens that we have a special offer on all things Thesaurus is too parsimonious to provide. My great and benevolent cleaner friend will be happy to deliver your unreasonable desires. Like I said, I don't think it's that unreasonable, it's just... Truly? Yes. Well then, cat food. Or treats, toys, anything to amuse and delight our laboratory's kitty cats. Their comfort is our comfort, their happiness, our happiness. Anything in bulk would be greatly appreciated. Kitty cats, since when did you and your colleagues become so adorable? No. A bit of a surprise request, but we can hardly fault him for his passion. See what you can come up with and I'll be sure to pass it along. Okay, but I'm out of time for today, so I need to make a cut here and we continue this another time. Good, so let's continue. Margrat. Hello, my fair cleaner. How goes the campaign of feline satisfaction? You have a toy mouse. Treats and toys seem like promising candidates, but whether your devotion will be requited for long, if at all, depends on the kitty in question. Perhaps a wad of crinkly paper or a simple box will suffice. Extraordinary quality. There's a plant which can induce a state of euphoria in felines, as I recall. Failing that, there's always a classic sandbox which cats may utilize for their daily constitutionals. And the kitty herring. Some cats can't eat fish, and most fish can't eat cats. But what can some cats eat that most fish can't? Catfish! Cats must struck me as particularly cheerful creatures, but even the most tenebrous cat will surely be moved to purr by all you've brought to us. Give me a moment to present these gifts to Roaring Spring. Our resident cat lover insisted that he addressed you personally, Desiree. I wanted to thank you for your many thoughtful donations. Their quality is astounding. The lab cats have taken to them straight away. Just seeing the joy writ plain upon their furry little faces has lifted the spirits of our whole team. Good. By the by, have you given any thought to what sort of research Roaring Spring this crew of cat lovers might specialize in? It may defy expectation, given what you've learned of them thus far. But any guesses? Believe it or not, they're all experts in aero and ether dynamics, the studies of how air and ether move respectively. It's their comprehensive understanding of these mechanics which enabled them to devise not only the optimal form for our teeny tiny towboat, but that of its individual components as well. So, while we were all losing our heads over the ether burner, Roaring Spring and his colleagues were calmly ensuring that we had somewhere to stick the damnable thing. Which brings me to my question. Why is your laboratory overrun with felines? Did the stress finally break you? Not as such. Our kitties are the fluffy keystones of our latest intellectual challenge. In the aftermath of our final days, we received a letter from an Eorzean naturalist named Margrat, who stridently implored us to investigate a rather puzzling phenomenon. The spontaneous flight of traditionally flightless organisms. Shocking, yes. Imagine an Labyrinthos or Damel suddenly rising into the air and darting away. But while such incidents may seem queer and inexplicable, we believe we can identify the root cause. Insofar as it relates to aviation, at least. And And once we know how these aerial feats were accomplished, we can assess which subjects may be manifesting latent abilities and which ones may be outliers of one sort or another. So, an explanation for why all mounts can fly, yeah? Because you can have all kinds of mounts who normally are not flying creatures, but they all can fly because they didn't want to limit flying to creatures that can obviously do that. Otherwise, most mounts would be kind of meaningless, even the pretty ones. Boyapart Masset seems convinced that there are no outliers, that every subject was possessed of ancestral levitational predisposition, but regardless of the outcome, our research may revolutionize our understanding of aviation. Indeed, even with my limited expertise, I can see the potential. Naturally, our first step was to observe flight-gifted samples in captivity, and among those we collected, we found it. An enormous flying kitty cat. Such grace, such beauty. How could the air and Aether not embrace you? How could the laws of nature not contort themselves to cradle your winsome curves? Yet a mystery it remains, a fabulous, fluffy mystery, one to which we will devote our waking days to unravel. That's wonderful, Roaring Spring. I hope you all find fulfillment in both your pioneering research and your kitty's care. Thank you, Margrat. I know we shall. And thank you, my friend. We are fortunate to have been aided by such an accomplished gleaner. Yes, well, gleaner may have been a term I used to describe her for simplicity's sake. But truth be told, she isn't of a guild ship. This is Desiree Klingor, one of the Scions who went aboard the Ragnarok. What? I am. So I've been waxing poetic about kitty cats to... No, commissioning kitty goods from... If you excuse me... I'll go and check on him later. Margrat is delighted with your effort. She now considers you a facilitator of feline felicity. And yet there's still much work to be done if the researchers Charlie and Hamlet are to have their myriad needs met. To that end, Margrat has a new favor to ask of you. Oi, Arch! I've come for my package, where is it? The items you requested were deemed non-essential. Non-essential? Huh? And is my willingness to toil away in those bland biscuit boxes you call laboratories non-essential? Is my motivation non-essential? Is it? You are free to purchase whatever you like with personal funds. You're a personal fund. Good one. Ibuki, while I understand your frustration, you cannot simply unleash your concentrated ire all at once to effect a change. Nay, we must use the Paymaster's methods against their agents. As they slowly grind away at our spirits, so too must we wear down Hotch. I bear that in mind, Margrat. And how is your deadline looking? I'll deadline you if you ever lead with that again. Sorry. Clearly you do understand my frustration. I presume, like me, you've been trying to improve your team's working condition, but to no avail? And precisely why I called you over. If Thesaurus is giving you the cold shoulder, we may be able to help. You don't think it's going to be another cat thing, do you? Who knows? There's no end to the delightful surprises here in Labyrinthos. You're in good hands, comrade. As an extension of our special offer, let us provide you with the conveniences Thesaurus won't. My exclusive cleaner is happy to procure anything your heart desires. Need but ask. I'm not sure what's going on, but far be it from me to look a gift chocobo in mouth. We would like monsters, fiends, feral beasts, voids and primals, whatever you can provide. Miniatures, that is. Any size, style or shape. Wood carvings, life-size cushions, soap sculptures, honestly anything. If you need specific examples, one of the ironwork engineers is a war machina fanatic who crafts stunningly realistic replicas. Or you might reference the more simplistic mammoths created by that infamous Gridanian goldsmith. Even if you can only manage supplies, we would be more than delighted to make our own miniatures, time permitting. Right, well, now that I've thoroughly embarrassed myself, thank you in advance, kind stranger. Ibuki was assigned to the Ragnarok project as well. Any guesses as to what her specialty is? Let me know when you think you figured it out, and when your first momentous donation is ready for delivery. But I finished with 6 items for today, because last week I only got 3 in, just barely. Huh? Why have I not returned to my lab and my other neglected responsibilities? Never you fear, I tend to the perpetual bin fires just as soon as you leave. You are in no hurry to go, right? Yeah, as I said, next week. Okay, another week. Margrat. I got you back. I think Ibuki is growing restless, so let's surround her with darling monstrosities before she launches a second assault upon Arch. Okay, first some miniatures. Sounds like I'm free to procure anything from grotesquely realistic clay sculptures to adorable plush creatures. Let it be known that I humbly request permission to squeeze should your donation be of a letter appreciation. Extraordinary quality. So, considering I did this as a weaver, probably more plushy than something metallic, right? Fine touch. And otherwise I've fished some stuff. Certain shells are ground into powder for their pigment, yet others make delightful decorations as they are. Right shade or spark can spur the spirit to creative fantasy. Well, if Ibuki and the team aren't anything less than delighted, I think we may have to consider them monsters. I'll just be a moment. Look, I procured something of my own. A researcher bringing with gratitude. None of us were expecting anything remotely close to the quality of what you delivered. The whole team couldn't be happier. Finally, we have furnishings more inspiring than peeling wallpaper and criminally slow timepieces. I can feel my investment in the drudgery improving already. So, what do you suppose Ibuki and her colleagues spend their time studying while their monstrous miniatures keep vigil? Have you confirmed they're not actually adventurers in disguise? Skepticism well warranted, to be sure. Ibuki's team specializes in material engineering, so they were tasked with deciding what the Ragnarok should be made of. As the mission was of the greatest import, candidate materials were subject to rigorous testing to ensure safe and reliable operation. For instance, every component within the engine had to withstand both the heat and stress the engine itself generated, as well as whatever bumps and scrapes it might suffer during the course of a ship's journey. However, if the durable heat-resistant materials they chose had to be heavy or difficult to work with, our starship would have been effectively the world's largest doorstop. So to ensure the Ragnar could actually fly, not be reduced to fondue in the process, Ibuki and their colleagues searched high and low for materials suited to each and every part. And on the occasion they failed to find what they needed, they rolled up their sleeves and created it themselves. People tend to be more interested in the bigger picture by what is being made rather than what it's made of. But I've made my peace with it. It's a fairly mundane job, truth be told. Not from where I'm standing. You and your lab are the heroes who help us realize our wildest dreams. We are forever in your debt. Well, if you'd really like to repay the favor, you might try making a good faith effort to actually meet your deadline next time. These days we mostly deal in arms and armor production with external collaborators. No matter how much you improve upon the previous model, adventurers always demand harder, better, faster and stronger. Sorry. Which necessitates a more in-depth understanding of the circumstances which demand such performances. So we conduct simulations based on actual and theoretical experience of veteran adventurers. Which in turn means extensive research into the myriad monstrosities of the world. Perhaps too extensive given how it has influenced our team. Influence being instead an obsession in? Yes. Now whenever we see any reproduction of a monster, the potential battle begins. Sharp claws, a lumbering blow, no wait, toxic molten breath, all powerful to penetrate our perfectly selected materials. Then comes the counter. Pikes piercing hardened scales, blades carving through jets of vicious bile, driving unimpeded toward their fleshy prize. I get shivers just thinking about it. Concerning a long and storied tenure, you may have worn or wielded something developed by Ibuki's team and not even known it. Are guild ship missions so perilous these days? I'm an adventurer. Desiree Kling or... what? How? Did you sign in on what you bought? Collected by Desiree Kling? What do you mean you don't sign that sort of thing? That, well, no, that's fair. Please sign something for me next time. And you, Margrat, how dare you conceal such crucial information? And just wait till the rest of the team hears about this. Margrat is overjoyed with your efforts. She now considers you a gracious gleaner. Yet there's still much work to be done if the research of Charlie and Hamlet are to have their myriad needs met. To that end, Margrat has a new favor to ask of you. Ibuki just ran by shrieking like a jilted chocobo. Is something amiss? I suppose there's no telling with her. Never mind, Hodge. I'm here to collect my supplies. Your request was denied. You are encouraged to recuperate at home. That's rich. Rich or not, that is the official answer. But those who have a special offer for rejected petitioners. Why, Hodge, the very nerve of you! Well met, Margrat. I'm glad to find you in high spirit and not your usual state of inconsolable weeping. I believe we have yet to be acquainted. Gondelvert, systems ephemerologist. No, Grundeveld. Your good breeding ruined our fun little game. I've been challenging her to guess who did what on the Ragnarok. Our system meteorologist basically ensured that on arcane level the Ragnarok was easy to operate. Each component was imbued with supplementary magic and without having to employ overworked mages scurrying about activating geometries. This was possible because many systems were designed to function automatically in the presence of sufficient aether. But how do we ensure the requisite quantities of aether are supplied throughout the ship? Call in the system meteorologists. Gondovan's team was tasked with the development of regulators to reallocate aether, as the systems dictate, so when our furry pilots engaged the throttle, the Ragnarok sped up instead of sputtering to a halt, or exploding. Needless to say, it's intricate work that requires a deep understanding of how a host of complex mechanisms interact, far beyond the scope of a harried gaggle of mages. Goodness, your fulgent praise has my bosom all a tingle. But returning to what Hodge mentioned, you're fulfilling requests that Formazane denied? Why, we are indeed. My exclusive cleaner here is second to none when it's satisfying the needs of a needy. Take advantage of our free trial today. Though I'm curious as to what prompted that trial, it would be foolish to reject your offer. Very well, might I commission some remedies for weary eyes? Eye drops would suffice, as would items that improve circulation. Foodstuff purported to improve visual acuity would be welcome too. If it may aid in the preservation or enhancement of eyesight, my team and I would welcome whatever you can provide. I see. Been burning midnight oil, have we? A man after my own heart. Well then, my gleaning genius, let's find this hard worker respite for his tired eyes, shall we? Good. And again, the weekly ending. Okay, that's it for this week already. See you in a moment. Another week, time to turn stuff in. A pleasure as always, my lady of peerless procurement. Have anything to soothe Gondevet's tired eyes? Energizing elixir. Eyedrops may seem like the obvious solution, get it? But if you ask me, Gondevet might benefit as much if not more from a fluffy bed or an eye mask. A quarter-bell nap can do wonders for oneself. Yes, I normally fling items of extraordinary quality at people. And aside from that, I have fish. Blueback fish are apparently rich in nutrients that help prevent ocular exhaustion and dry eyes. Let's hope Gondevet and his colleagues like seafood. Right then, I do believe we are commanded sufficient succor for our blearily blinking comrade. I shall be back anon. Look, wouldn't you say Gondevet's eyes glimmer with renewed vitality? I sincerely doubt they look any different, but the efficacy of the items he provided is undeniable. I've suffered fewer headaches and my vision does seem clearer. I dare say this newfound comfort will enable me to execute my work with even greater precision. You have been a boon to me and my team. Out of curiosity, why so much intense squirting of late? It must be awfully delicate stuff to tax your eyesight so. Indeed it is. Our current assignment is complicated, sometimes punishingly so, but we are resolved to see it through. You see, during the Ark's conversion to the Ragnarok, I spoke with Lomints and Arcanists come to deliver supplies. It wasn't long before we discovered, to our mutual delight, the uncanny similarities between Arcanima and systems etheriology. Arcane geometries were first conceived as a means to perceive and manipulate etheric energy in specific natural environments, namely those of the South Sea Isles, the presumed birthplace of Arcanima. But while our regulators were designed to serve a rather different purpose, the underlying principles of their operation are more or less the same. Now that we needn't concern ourselves with the end of civilization, we are free to engage in joint research with our friends in the Arcanist Guild. Sounds like our arrangement with Garland Ironworks. What is your current objective? We seek to incorporate analytical and conditional branching functionalities into a framework utilizing arcane geometries. By iterating this process, we hope to produce a single comprehensive system capable of heretofore unrealized feat. To wit, one capable of automatically heating foodstuff to optimal temperature for consumption. What did you just say? You mean our days of eating cold Archon burgers would be over? Your arcane Watson would be able to restore them to their original juicy glory? Mankind never need suffers cold burgers again. Biogod has blessed you with his genius, Grundeveld. The world will never be the same after your etheric food warmer is complete. You agree, don't you, Desiree? Desiree? Why is that name so familiar? Oh dear. About that, I should have mentioned sooner, but Desiree is Desiree Kling of the Science, one of the heroes who traveled aboard the Ragnarok to the end of a known universe. Margrat, I expected more from you of all people. To let me in ignorance impose upon the goodwill of such an esteemed personage. I understand how you feel, I do, but that's why I just wanted everyone to get to know her. Not as a hero on a pedestal whom we should never dare to approach, but as a person like you and me, and I wanted her to get to know everyone too. The nameless faces that worked so hard to make her journey possible, and raised their voices and cheer at her triumphant return. I suppose we would be glad for further donations, should you be willing and able to oblige us. My laboratory would of course contribute to a due compensation as well. Until next time then, and thank you Desiree for everything. Satisfaction up. Margrat could not be happier with her effort. She now considers you an irreplaceable comrade. Through your efforts, many dedicated intellectuals have found comfort and respite. It seems, however, that Margrat has something on her mind. A new quest is now available. Yeah, but I'm full for the day, so... The Pride of Labyrinthos. I see the parade of disgruntled petitioners marching onto Thesaurus has come to an end, all thanks to you, I'd wager. Common scripts seem far too impersonal a reward for such a feat, which is why I've secretly prepared you something else. But before I hand over the goods, I was hoping you might pay Theopoldin a visit. Apparently needs your reassurance that I haven't been an overbearing taskmaster. A pity he's never shown a fraction of that concern for how we've suffered under the yoke, or lifted a finger to reform Thesaurus' broken policies, but what would I know? Anyway, he should be in Aparia, if you take pity on the old man. No rest for the compassionate, eh? Fairbolden. Hi. I see Margrat saw fit to release you from her grasp. Thank you for stopping by. I understand that you ended up fulfilling not only her requests, but those of a number of other researchers in Charlian Hamlet. Though I and many others appreciate the lengths to which you have gone on our behalf, I do hope you did not find the experience too vexing. On the contrary, your researches are a delight. I'm relieved to hear it. You must be accustomed to dealing with strong personalities giving you adventures with the Archons, to say nothing of the leather years. I suppose I should have known my fears would be unfounded. Margrat would be the last person to willingly aggravate Desiree Klingor after all. What do you mean? Hers is but one small tale from the final days, perhaps inconsequential compared to some, yet significant in other ways. With the appearance of the realm's first blasphemy in Razatan, our steady construction of the Ark became a mad race to the finish. And the Aetherburner was enhanced, enabling our ship to become a starfaring vessel that would bear the science to the very edge of existence. And as our aims shifted to accommodate the escalating threat to the star, many who helped construct the Ragnarok suffered under the weight of psychological burden. Of course, the Ragnarok's construction was a collaborative effort, made possible only by enhanced laboratory technology and resources sourced from all across the world. But there was a soul amongst us who never considered the darkest of possibilities. Crushed as we were by endless labor. What if we made a mistake? What if my error proves fatal for us all? Margrat was no different, and though the stress drove her into a state of delirium at the time, after Ragnarok departed, well, it was difficult to watch. Insomnia, loss of appetite, frequent and spontaneous fits of crying, anything she did manage to eat typically didn't stay down for long. She was inconsolable until the Ragnarok returned safely, and for a period after as well. Hers was not a unique condition. The severity varied by person, but all our researchers struggled in the same fashion as the final days wore on. That is why your journey and your homecoming hold so much significance for them. You are living proof that everything we endured held meaning. Shockingly easy to forget sometimes, so thank you for spending so much time with us. But the past is the past, and our memories do not justify the misuse of your time and energy. Should it ever be too much, I implore you to say no to Margrat and the others. They will understand. Now then, I hope you continue to enjoy the wonders that only Labyrinthos, vortex of unassailable intellect and irrepressible emotion, can provide. Back to Margrat. Welcome back. I take it you found Third Paulden. I have a special gift here. If you're in need of a palate cleanser, here you go, from my heart to yours. That, my friend, is a gleaner's uniform, dyed a particularly exquisite shade. I think you'll like it. I wasn't sure what to get you, but since you are my personal gleaner, what could be better than bespoke clothing? So I leaned on a few contacts, called in some favors, and voila! Fashion. If it's not too much trouble, would you try it on for me? I like to think my measurements were accurate, but you can never be too sure. Use the storage facility when you're ready to change, and come and find me by the Aetherite when you're finished. Testing. Greetings, comrades of Labyrinthos. It is I, Margrat, propulsion ephemerologist, coming to you with a very special announcement. Some of you may have noticed a distinguished-looking lady is standing by the airport in Charlie Hamlet. Who is she, ask? Why, none other than one of the brave souls we entrusted to the Ragnarok, Desiree Klingor. Now I realize that some of you may feel compelled to smother her with questioned affection. However, I must insist you weigh in most important approach, should you elect to do so, with a surplus of restraint and respect. Look for the lovely Vieira wearing the blue uniform. Remember, seize the moment, not a gleaner. Did she say Desiree Klingor, or am I hallucinating? I have to pay my respects. I must. Where did she say? Look, a blue gleaner's uniform. There! Pardon me, are you Desiree Klingor by any chance? Uh-huh. Oh, yeah, rather different than I imagined. You don't feel irregular, do you, after your travels? Are you well? I am. Oh, I'm so glad. We're doing quite well too, I'm glad. He's right though. Thanks to you, we're living out our lives and continuing research with Neri and Apocalypse in sight. Our experience working on the Ragnarok has proven instrumental to our current projects. Once you send a ship to Ultima Thule, nothing feels too intimidating to try. Not to mention the complete impossibility of pursuing our passion as we succumb to meteors, blasphemies, and God knows what else. Thanks to your service and your bravery. Sorry. Easier to ask forgiveness and permission and so forth. I had hoped we might get a chance to chat is all. When you and your fellows launched the Ragnarok and took to the heavens, you placed your faith in our work. Maybe you didn't have a choice. Maybe it was truly the last option left to mankind. But you and the rest of the science on board that ship meant everything to us. Your safe return meant everything to us. We all gave Ragnarok strict instructions, you see. We told her to spare nothing in bringing you back, even if it meant falling apart in the process. And the old girl listened. Belated though the fanfare may be, allow us to officially welcome you home, Desiree Klingor. You are, and always will be, the pride of Labyrinthos. As such, we have one final question for you. Would you say it was a smooth ride? To the end of eternity and back, smooth as butter. That's all we ever wanted. Well, a death and not even the euphoric thrill of meeting a deadline can measure up to the sublime sense of satisfaction. That uniform becomes you. I hope you remember your friends in Labyrinthos whenever you wear it. You know, I think it's past time I tried on something new myself. What better way to cleanse your mind and replenish your spirit? Let me know if you have suggestions, or you of impeccable procurement. Speaking of, I'm sure the general populace will soon be clamoring for items cleaned by the hand of generous Desiree Klingor. Since realizing everyone's individual hopes and dreams is too great an endeavor for any one woman, let's narrow our focus to things that everyone can use, preferably for relaxation purposes. We're counting on you, Desiree. Don't be a stranger. Further requests can be selected from random. Margrat's appearance may now be altered for the use of glamours. Good. But that was the custom delivery for Margrat. Until next time, when we play more Final Fantasy XIV, I'm Mason. Don't get lost.